My name is Roy O. Umahi Nwaeze, and I represent Chief Engineer David Umahi in the 3 petitions that we have just adopted the final written addresses. You see, when a petitioner goes to court, oftentimes he does so to keep his followers. He keeps giving them the impression that there is hope. Sometimes they file petitions just to drag the name of the judiciary in the mud. Not that they have a good case. Like in this one, they find nothing. When you place their petitions side by side with decided authorities on the point, Supreme Court authorities, Court of Appeal authorities, they come here with no case. You can imagine somebody who came here to make a case challenging results in 870 polling units, and then he comes with like 3 witnesses. What is he coming to say? Before now, they were making noise on the social media, but the moment we went into summation of the evidence, applying the law to the evidence, they found that they have nothing, absolutely nothing. Because in each case, the authorities would say, for this point, these are the things you need to prove it. For overvoting, you must produce voters register. You must produce beavers machine, extracts therefrom. You must produce the results. They have not done any of this. But then the people who are deceived are the followers. Because they will go back when they lose, because they will lose. When they lose, yeah, they will go on appeal. When they lose again, they will tell them, oh, the judiciary is corrupt. So that's the situation.
Okay. Also, first of all, let's meet your name and your
My name is Abdul Ibrahim. I'm the lawyer to APC in all the petitions against Chief David Umahi.
Okay, the petition that have been brought here. The petition has been brought here. Tell us, are there sufficient grounds for the court to grant their prayer?
Well, for us, first and foremost, they've just come to the court to waste time. One, they are alleging that he was not validly nominated. Well, as a party, we know that we nominated him, we forwarded his name, and he contested the election, and he won the election. Now, secondly, they also alleging that there's some infractions, non-compliance and what about. But I can tell you that what they did was just to come and talk stories. They never brought evidence that will really show that any infraction took place. So, by and large, we don't have any doubt in our mind, or believe by the special grace of God, that judgment will be ours, because we know that we won the election fairly and squarely. And if they do the election again, I know that the candidate we sponsored will win that election several times. So there is no point. In the first place, we won them squarely. So all they are doing, just like typical Nigerian politicians, they will come to a tribunal, maybe because they want to keep a support base. At the end of the day, they will tell you that I lost in court, even not because of the court, but for now, they've actually not done anything, to show that they are actually entitled to any relief they are asking for. Thank you.
Okay, now, with the fact that, one more question, the fact that David Umahi has not been elevated, how does this petition?
Now, the petition is not affected because, you see, we must keep the record straight. He was elected before he was nominated by the president to become a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, that election was a declaration made in his favor. Now, if they come to challenge it, fine. For the records, he also still needs to show that, yes, I won this fairly and squarely, so that tomorrow nobody can say, no, he never won the election. That is why we defended it.
For one of the petitioners, the PDP.
It's not the defense. We filed a petition for one of the petitioners. First of all, there are 3 petitions. There's the GOV1, sorry, there's the SEN AB1, there's SEN AB07, there's SEN AB012. Our own petition is the 01, which is the petition filed by the PDP, challenging the purported election of Senator David Umahi as a senator representing Ebonyi South Senatorial District. And that's why we're here before this petition. So there are 3 petitions consolidated. The petitions, they've just been heard. We've just adopted our final written addresses. And the Tribunal has reserved the petitions for judgment. So that's the stage.
Your arguments have been made before now. This is the final stage before the judgment is delivered on the petitions. What would you say is the chances of the 3 petitioners in this case?
It's not for me to speak on the chances.
But you follow through.
It's not ethical. Ours is to present our petition before the tribunal, which we've done. We presented the petition on 2 grounds. The grounds that elections did not, or INEC cancelled the elections in some polling units in the constituency. Is the INEC, the presiding officers of the various polling units, made a report to INEC. INEC on their own cancelled elections in those polling units, and they issued a form which they call Form EC40G. Because once you cancel elections or elections did not take place, then you have to issue that form. INEC themselves issued that form, and that's the forms we brought to the courts. If you look at the form EC8B, which is the word collation results. Those results were not collated. So elections did not take place in those polling units. There are no results. At the tribunal, we called evidence, the witnesses who testified. They tendered the documents to show that INEC cancelled the election. INEC themselves, who cancelled that election, did not call any witness, did not call any evidence. So they completely agreed with us as to the cancellation of results in those polling units. And the point we're making is that if you look at the margin of the lead between the person who purportedly won that election and the first runner-up, you find out that the margin of the lead is just about 2,800 votes, 2,800 and something votes. But the number of registered voters and persons who collected their PVCs in the various polling units where elections did not take place or were cancelled is more than 13,000. So the election was clearly inconclusive, and clearly INEC admitted it, tendered documents to show that the election was inconclusive. On the other part of it is the issue of overvoting. Of course, we've led evidence to show clearly that there was overvoting. In fact, they admitted it. What they were saying, it was error in calculation. They clearly say it was error in calculation. So they are not even challenging that overvoting. They concede to that fact that they were overvoting, but they allege that it was error in calculation. We did not call the polling units, the presiding officers who made those entries to show that it was error in calculation. We've not even demonstrated such error. As a matter of fact, in the defense, they just called 3 witnesses who had nothing to do, who gave no evidence whatsoever as to the issues we presented before the tribunal. And again, also, there were multiple issues of mutilations of results. Do you understand? In the Form EC8, these are apparent on the face of the Form EC8, which the tribunal will look at and find out clearly there were mutilations and cancellations on the face of the Form EC8. And again, the other issue of non-accreditation, of course, we tendered the Beavers report, which clearly shows that there were no accreditations in some polling units, and there were results from those polling. Where did they come from? So these are the issues we've ventilated before the tribunal, and it's for the tribunal to look at the evidence we placed before it, and then decide the matter what we want to do.
Let's first meet you. Tell us your name and the party you represent in this matter.
Okay. My name is Abdul Karim Omoni Idauda, and I represent the Labour Party and its candidates in the Ebonyi South Senatorial District election that took place on the 25th of February 2023.
We've rounded off your argument. Are you confident that you've argued out your case the way you should have?
Yes, we are so confident. You see, we have presented our case, and we believe that with the position of the law and the evidence we have tendered, we have presented our case properly, and we are hopeful that the tribunal will do justice.
The grounds that you presented that made you so convinced.
Yes.
Give us a summary.
Yes. You see, our petitions is premised on 3 grounds. The first ground is that Senator David Umahi, now a minister, is not in the first place qualified to contest that election because he did not go through all the processes, all the electionary processes, which include primary, there's a primary election within the party before it comes to the general election. That's the first ground. The second ground was that there are non-compliance with the Electoral Acts, because when you look at we are saying that the election is invalid because of non-compliance with the Electoral Act. Not all, but in some places. If you look at the documents that we tendered, you see places where there are alterations and mutilations on the result sheets. They are very, very clear on it. And when you look at also the result sheet that was issued to our agents at the polling unit, you will not find those alterations there. So we have tendered both the carbon copy or duplicate copy of the result sheet that was given to our agents at the polling units to compare with the one that INEC used to collate the result sheet and see if there are no alterations and mutilations there. Most of those alterations and mutilations were done to douse or cover up overvoting. You understand me? Or in some places to cover up their inability to account for ballot papers that were issued to most of the polling units. Then the third ground is that engineer David Umahi did not score the majority of valid votes at that election. And why are we saying so? When you look at in some of the votes of our client were suppressed. There are miscalculations which were saying that the tribunal should look at and add up to our client's vote. Secondly, when you also look at the collation result sheets that we tendered, you will discover that there are some polling units which were omitted in that collation result sheet, indicating that either election did not hold there or the election were cancelled because there's no vote that was entered or given to any party or candidate in those polling units. And when you calculate, in fact, these polling units were over 20 in number. And when you calculate the number of people that collected PVC or the number of registered voters in those polling units, you will see that it is far, far, far more than the margin of lead between Engineer David Umahi
and our clients, the Labour Party candidate, who came second in that election. So we are saying that where this kind of situation happened, then the position of the law is that INEC ought to have declared the election inconclusive and conduct election in those areas first. And after conducting the election in those areas, they will add it to the votes that they have in other places, and then before they can now announce the winner.
Represent the electoral umpire.
Yeah.
And it appears that almost all the petitions point to alleged substantial part of it points to the conduct of the election, as if INEC didn't do the right thing.
It's as a result of an election that was conducted on the 25th of February 2023. In their dissatisfaction to the umpires' holding, they approached the tribunal for what we have just come today, for the final adoption of the final written address and other processes in court. So ordinarily, INEC is not supposed to make more than, speak more than what we ought to have, say. But I must tell you that the most important thing is that parties have canvassed their issues, and their issues have been well taken by the tribunal, and the judgment has been reserved. It is for us to wait until the judgment is determined, and I am aware, I'm confident with the tribunal here from the inception that they will do justice to this particular matter. And I'm confident, especially in Ebonyi, that INEC actually complied extensively and substantially, and that is why the person that won actually was declared winner.
All right. So what's the name, please?
My name is Clement Chukwemeka. Yes, I represent the first respondent in petition number 1. It's a consolidated petition, petition 01, petition 07, and petition 012. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. You have a card there?